Governor Keating, and how he was widely praised for effectively handling this crisis. This is all about Keating. This section is a love fest, Valentine's weekend love fest of Keating. They love Keating, 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 Keating. Woo, woo, woo. And so Keating describes what happened, and then they have these, lessons from Keating in paragraph 3. Train and equip your first responders, search for ways to support teams before, blah, blah, blah. I'll let you read that. Paragraph 4 is all about teamwork. Yay, go team. And one thing I've noticed, in this particular section, it's more quotes from Keating than actually text from our authors here. But it talks about how Keating was open and all that type of stuff. You're reading all the various quotes from Keating. It talks about the primary and secondary stakeholders in paragraph 6, and talked about how Oklahoma City is a close-knit community, and yeah, that's sort of kind of true. It's still a major city. And then there's more stuff in paragraph paragraph 7, I should say, more Keating, more first responders stuff. One of the things that I thought was really, really interesting is that there's no response or no discussion of the federal response. There was huge federal response there. There was a huge relationship between Keating and President Clinton at the time that they don't talk about here at all, which I think is really interesting. And I think, my personal opinion, they actually give Keating a little bit too much credit here. But regardless, after you make the call, and there's more of a Keating love fest here. They love Keating. Governor Keating utilized many of the best practices discussed in Chapter 3. Practice open and honest, so they're basically, again, giving you some of the answers or framing, shaping how you are going to make the call. But interesting stuff. The next one, we've got 2 more here, and I'm going to be very, very quick because I need to go to this luncheon. We're not in Kansas anymore. The first section here is all about how resilient the town was after the huge tornado in 2007. It talks about the framing of the crisis as a way to reinvent them. So they automatically, well, not automatically, but how can we reinvent ourselves? So this becomes a model, I think, the authors are saying, for this whole discourse of renewal. And then paragraph 2, they talks about bold ideas, bold environmental vision, and all the various things that they do. And there's a paragraph on how the city became a model, a green city, and all these types of stuff. And then there's there's a paragraph about, well, I give you the web page that you can go to. But that consequences with a whole section, the bold environmental vision following the tornado, is all about all the wonderful, great things that they did. It talks about the community response, and they interpret the crisis as an opportunity, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The new slogan of the home became Greenberg, better, not bitter, better, stronger, greener. And so they love this city, and they love green, and became a model of environmentally sensitive buildings and all that type of stuff. So again, you make the call, but in this in this case study, they obviously are setting this case study of Greensburg, Kansas, to be sort of the model of all the discourse of renewal stuff, even though we're utilizing all the various things in Chapter 3, which again also then showcases the tie between Chapter 3 and the discourse of renewal theory and all the various aspects and opportunities there. And then the final, I'll have to do pepperoni and booger pizza, please. This is really interesting because this case study is all about issues of social media. So they contextualize stuff, and they talk about how this was a new and unique type of situation, and partly because it was unusual because it was a hoax. And so the book defines hoax, what a hoax is, um, and so I'll let you read the definitions of what a hoax is and all that type of stuff, and what Domino's needed to say their food was safe, but basically, and this is the criticism of them, they use standard media to do so, standard press releases. It was a hoax that came from YouTube, but they didn't at first use social media or YouTube to respond. Therein lies the problem, they say. So it goes through all this stuff about how it was hard for them to gain control of the hoax because, again, they weren't reaching people because they were using standard media sources like TVs and newspapers. All the stuff about the crisis response is that they were too routine, and it wasn't until later on, I guess, that the president of Doyle, whatever his name is, did a YouTube situation or YouTube video, and he said some really good things, and that went viral. So that was good. So his YouTube response spread quickly, and a lot of people sort of praised what he said there on YouTube. But the long story short is, clearly using this is on the bottom of page 86, clearly using standard press releases through traditional media venues did not reach the audience of the hoax video. Not until Doyle communicated through the same medium selected by the hoaxers was he able to reach his relevant audience. And so after the you make the call stuff, it again talks about issues of hoaxes and social media. And so what's going to be really interesting here, and how you respond, is also going to be tied to a lot of the stuff that Chapter 3 says about social media and what to do with social media, even though that was not necessarily a specific lesson. It's sort of tied to all the other 10 lessons. And then pizza's good, and I'm hungry, so I'm going to go do this lunch thing. And I know that was super quick. But again, I think these case studies are really interesting case studies, and I think going through these you make the call stuff is going to really help you out when it comes to better understanding those 10 very important crises. And just well, never mind. I was going to show you. Yeah, I'm leaving now. Bye bye.